Now, if you look at these results, Atiku's 3 point something million is still maintained. He got from the corner in 2019. He still maintained it in 2023. So the election is not that rigged. The consistency is there, which means even Peter Obi had electoral value than Atiku. I'm sorry to say this because Atiku's base, the 3 million plus he got in 2019 is the same thing he got here in 2023. The 11 million he got that time is Peter Obi that made him to get it. The core northern part of Nigeria always believe, they always claim that they have the political power to make or remove a president in Nigeria democratically. By the core north, they believe that they have the numbers. Democracy is all about numbers. They always boast that they can make you the president of Nigeria. They can as well remove you as the president of Nigeria. Okay, now we have to study this based on the past election, based on the results of the past elections. Since the return of our democracy in 1998, we have had 7 presidential elections. And in these 7 presidential elections, I am going to use 5. I will not use the 1998 election because that one no be election. That one not just military install their own person. Then I will not also use 2007 election because that one is totally flawed. That even the winner, President Yaradua, acknowledged, believed, accepted that the election was not good. So I'm going to use my case study in this. I'm going to use 2003 election, 2011, 2015, 2019, and 2023 general elections. These are the 5 elections I'm going to use to check if truly the core norths, they have the power to make anybody president or remove anybody as a president. And by the core norths, I'm referring to the northeast and northwest states. That is 9 in the north. 6, there are 12 in numbers, minus 1. But the core north, I'm talking about, there are 12 in numbers, northeast and northwest states, which includes Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara. These are the 12 states of the core north I am going to use to check if truly they have the political power to make anybody president. Remember, my case study is 5 presidential elections that was held. 5 past presidential elections. That's what I'm going to use to fact check this so that we know whom to give respect and whom not to give respect. Okay? Now let's start from the 2003 election. The 2003 election. This is between the 2 major candidates, is Buhari and Obasanjo. And from the results, Obasanjo, from the core north, Obasanjo won Adamawa with 660,000 votes, 660,780 votes. Obasanjo won, and which means Obasanjo also won, if you check the result, Obasanjo also won Kaduna. Yeah. Obasanjo won Kaduna with 1,025,347 votes, while Buhari won the remaining 10 northern states. And the overall winner of the election was, of course, Obasanjo with 24,456,140 votes against Buhari's 12,710,022 votes. Now, as you can see, in the core north, Obasanjo lost 10 states there. He only won 2, while Buhari won the remaining 10 states. And the figures in the core north, Obasanjo got 5,125,300 votes against Buhari's 9,653,509 votes. Now, let's do the mathematics. Let's assume that the Connaughts did not vote for Obasanjo. Let's just assume they did not vote for Obasanjo. So we are going to remove all the votes Obasanjo got from the Connaughts. That is, we are going to remove Obasanjo's 24,556,140 votes minus the 5,125,300 votes he got in the Connaughts. The remaining will be 19,330,840 votes. That's if you minus the Connaughts. With that 19 million, Obasanjo will still defeat Buhari's 12 million, which means in 2003, the Connaughts did not make Obasanjo president. They contributed nothing. Now, let's go to 2011 election. The key characters, we have Jonathan and Buhari. Yes, as you can see from the results, Buhari being the king of the Connaughts, cleared almost everything. Jonathan only won in Adamawa. Yeah. Jonathan only won in Adamawa with 508 votes, 314,000 against Buhari, 344 votes. But the remaining 11 states in the Connaught, Buhari cleared it. He's the king of the Connaught. Then in the overall results, Jonathan got 22,606,416 votes to win it against Buhari's 12,250,853 votes. You know, this Buhari's 12 million is always consistent. Maybe Nigeria's election is not so rigged, that rigged, because of the consistency in Buhari's scores. Now, as you can see, Jonathan lost in 11 Connaught states, while he only won one. Buhari won the remaining 11. Now, the votes Jonathan got in Connaught was 4,848,221 votes against Buhari's 9,850,370 votes. Now, let's do the math. Let's assume that the Connaught did not vote for Jonathan. Yes, they didn't vote for him. Let's remove the votes, the 4-point-something million he got in the Connaught. If you minus it with the 22 million plus Jonathan got, it will remain 17,768,195. And it's still bigger than the 12 million Buhari scored, which means in 2011, the Connaught did not make Jonathan the president. That is 2-0. Now, let's go to 2015 election. The key actors, the same Buhari and Jonathan. This time, Jonathan did not win any single state in the Connaught. The whole 12 states, he lost it. Buhari won everywhere. And he even, this is, the result was, this is upper court. Buhari hit Jonathan uppercut. I can even see some 25,000 votes, 96,000, 86,000 votes by Jonathan. This is too much. Okay, let's check the overall winners. You can see Buhari won the election with 15,424,921 votes, while Jonathan got 12,853,162 votes. Now, in the Connaught, Buhari got 9,702,551 votes against Jonathan's 1,825,497 votes. Now, if you minus the 15 million Buhari got entirely in the election with what he got from the Connaught, which is 9.30 million, what will remain is 5,722,370 votes. If you match it with 12 million plus Jonathan had, it means that Jonathan will win. That is, let's assume that the Connaught did not vote for Buhari. Have you seen it? If you minus what Buhari got from a Connaught, he will not win the election. So In 2015, the core north met Buhari president. That is 2-1. Entire Nigeria 2, the core north 1. Now let's go to 2019. The key figures, the key factors, Buhari and Atiku. This one, Buhari even reduced Atiku to become a foreigner. There is nothing to show that Atiku is from the core north. He only won one state, Adamawa, which I think is his state. And the margin is not even much. Buhari cleared everywhere. Everywhere shut down in that core north. Anyway, Buhari won the election with 15,191,847 votes against Atiku's 11,262,978 votes. The consistency of Buhari is still there. Nigerian election is good. Forget about rigging. From when he was contesting, not winning, it was 12 million. Now he's winning. It's 15 million. The consistency is still there. Okay. Now let's check what Buhari scored in the core north. He scored 8,909,528 against Atiku's 3,161,007. Atiku, which means the 11 million that Atiku even got is Peter Obi that gave him the votes. That's what it means, because he did not even get anything from the core north. Now, if you minus, let's assume that the core north did not vote for Buhari, based on what we have been calculating. If you minus Buhari 15 million plus votes with 8 million plus he got from the core north, what will remain is 6,282,319 votes, which means the core north met Buhari, the president, the second time. That is the core north 2, the entire Nigeria 2. Now let's check the final match. The 2023 election. The key actors, Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi. Of course, you can see the result from the core north. Atiku and Tinubu shared it almost equally. They battled it out. That's serious battling. The difference between Atiku and Tinubu in core north is not much. Where Atiku will win, the gap will not be much. Where Tinubu will win, the gap is not be much. It's Peter Obi that they pull down, they just knock Peter Obi out of the core north. Now, okay, the overall winners, we all know, Tinubu got 8,794,726 votes. Atiku and Peter Obi got 66 million plus votes. Now, let's take the core north. Tinubu in the core north scored 3,702 votes, 528,000. Atiku scored 3,882 votes, 369,000. Peter Obi scored 518,974 votes. Chai Obi. Now, if you look at these results, Atiku's 3-point-something million is still maintained. He got from the core north in 2019. He still maintained it in 2023. So the election is not that rigged. The consistency is there, which means even Peter Obi had electoral value than Atiku. I'm sorry to say this, because Atiku's base, the 3 million plus he got in 2019 is the same thing he got here in 2023. The 11 million he got that time is Peter Obi that made him to get it. No. Now, let's minus Tinubu's 8 million plus vote with the 3 million plus he got from the core north. What will remain is 5,092,198 votes, which means it cannot match the 66 million Atiku Obi got, which means the core north met Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. Now, the core north 3, entire Nigeria 2. Remember, I did not include the 1998 and 2007 election. Those ones are not election. You understand? But I have done my research. If you add those two, the 1998, the core north still made our passenger president. But in 2007, they did not make the Yar'Adua president. But I'm not counting this 2, I'm counting these 5. So, to convince you, not to confuse you, I believe that when the core north, when they boast that they have the power to make or remove a president, I think they believe they are serious about it, they can make it. When they say it, when they boast about it, they can do it based on the scores, especially the recent election results from 2015 indicates that the core north are the political strong house of Nigerian electoral system now. So when they post, believe them, they can make you president, they can remove it. As you can see, they make Buhari president, they make Tinubu president. My advice to Tinubu now, go and beg them all. It's not late. They can still remove you. And for Atiku, increase your votes there. And for people, you have seen it now, they kicked you out in the corners. Extend your obedience there. Reach everywhere so that you can pick up. You score, you did well in Kaduna, about 200,000 votes. At least, if you can be getting like 20%, you win the election. So Peter Obi, extend their handshake in the corners and you will surely succeed. So, I believe that is the election of Nigeria. I respect the corners. It's not easy for two geopolitical zones to determine who is the president. I've done my research. No any other zone in Nigeria can do that. If you match southeast and southwest, they cannot. If you match south and southeast, they cannot. If you match southwest and middle belt, they cannot. It's only this corner, this northeast and northwest, that have done it in 2015, 2019, and 2023. So we have to respect them for that. Thanks for watching.